From County College of Morris, this is CCM All Access.
Hello, and welcome to CCM All Access, the show that brings you news and information from the County College of Morris. Students on campus, members of the community, people doing good things. I'm Nicholas Kratzel, and today we will be speaking to Mr. James Chegwidden, who is CCM's golf coach. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Coach, so how long have you been coaching the golf program here?
I've been coaching the golf program for 15 years, but as the head coach the last 5 seasons, actually 6 seasons, including the COVID season.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Have you done anything else here on campus?
Yeah, I'm retired, going on 8 years now. I worked here a little over 27 years, full-time in the athletic department. I was the facilities manager, intramural coordinator, and I also coached women's basketball for 14 years, and I was an assistant to the men's basketball team for two seasons. So I've been around the block here for a while.
Of course. So how did you get into the game of golf with all the other sports that you coached?
Well, the one thing I started to find was, as I started getting older, that I really couldn't play basketball as much as I wanted to anymore. So I started to pick up the sticks, and I did that with my grandfather, actually at Picatinny Arsenal. That's where I first started playing. And you know as well as me, when that snake bites you, you're kind of addicted to golf after that. So that's how I got into it.
Of course.
And I, again, started as an assistant coach with the golf program under Matt Mugavero, who was the head pro at the time at Picatinny Arsenal. So that's how I got into coaching golf. And basically, I was recruiting and managing, and he was doing the coaching of the team at the time.
Matt was? Matt
was, yeah.
My uncle knew Matt a long time ago. I actually learned on Picatinny. That's where I learned how to play. Yeah. So it's
tough little course.
Tough little course. Yep. Different, very interesting holes.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah. Did you play golf in school or high school, college?
I actually didn't take up golf until I was 28 years old. So
okay.
That's when I first got introduced to it. Like I said, I played a lot of basketball. I'm a graduate from CCM, and I played on the basketball team here.
Oh, wow.
Back in the days when they had to bring the ladder out to get the ball out of the peach basket. Okay, that was a long time ago.
Oh yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yeah.
For basketball, did you get recruited to play at CCM?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Mr. Jack Martin, who we just named the gymnasium after last weekend, came and met with me and asked me to come play on his team, and we had a very good team when I played here, and there was only one division at the time, so we were ranked number 5 in the country at one time. We had set the school record of 17 straight wins, and we had some really good players on our team. One outstanding player was Curtis Richwood, who went on to play Division I basketball at Ole Miss. So he played D1 ball, and it was kind of neat watching him play on TV after he left here.
I bet.
Yep.
When you were playing basketball here, was there a golf program whatsoever? Or?
There was.
Okay.
And the golf program, we had a lot of different coaches during the years. One of the coaches happened to be a former player. His name was Danny Williams, and he was the head pro at Mendham Country Club. But we had Paul Kiernan, who worked here full-time, was also our former baseball coach. He coached the golf team. Another guy that we had was Joe Mealy, who was a professor here, a biology professor. And we had another guy, Kenny Perbola, who was a former basketball player and golfer here at CCM. So we've had a nice tradition with the golf program as well as the basketball program.
Of course.
Yeah.
Now, do you mind giving a brief explanation of how long the golf program has been around and why it was created?
You know, I can't give you a specific year that it started, but I know it was probably in the maybe early 70s to mid 70s when it started. We used to have like 15 varsity programs here, which included wrestling and cross country and ice hockey. So a lot of those sports with the budget and everything that went on at the college, we eliminated a lot of the sports. I think we're down to 8 varsity sports now. So
Right.
we lost 6 programs, but golf was not one of them. So.
Thank goodness, yeah. In terms of the golf team back then, how has the practice facility and what students do to get ready for the program, how has it changed?
It's basically the same. We use Flanders Valley now instead of Picatinny as our home course, though we are trying to get back to Picatinny because I think it's important that we have the practice areas that Picatinny has to offer.
Yes.
Their short game area is second to none for practice, where Flanders Valley is been very good to us, but their practice facility is just basically a putting green.
Yes.
All right, so we have bunkers that we can hit out of. We have chipping areas that we can hit off if we get back to Picatinny. So the other thing is most of our teams have always gone down to the Randolph Golf Center because they have heated booths. And as you well know, it's been pretty chilly out lately. So it's nice to have those heated booths when we're practicing.
Right. Does CCM fund this, or do the players have to donate to this?
No, the college funds our practice and our tournament fees, and they also take care of all of our gear and stuff. The only thing the students have to provide are their own shoes and their attire and the clubs and the equipment.
Yes.
Yeah. We provide the golf balls, the golf gloves, the golf hats, all that other stuff.
Yeah. How have players improved from, like if a player starts here their freshman year, do you see a lot of improvement between their freshman year and their sophomore year, whether it be the off-season?
I'm going to say almost everybody has improved, even in their freshman year, from when they start to when they finish their freshman year. But the one thing after coaching basketball and stuff, a team sport, and golf is a team sport, but it's basically on the individual. If they want to get better, they have to practice and they have to play. Basically the same thing with basketball. But I've seen a lot of our players be able to improve their games to where they can move on and play at a 4-year institution.
Of course. How should players go about practicing in the off season? Are they expected to practice daily? What should the routine be?
During the fall, we have a very informal season, if we want to call it a season, where we just get out and play, and I get to see what everybody's all about. And during the winter time, if you remember, we get into the fitness center, and I show everybody the drills and stuff and the exercises that they can do to improve their flexibility, their strength, and balance, and their core, and all those kind of things. And I think that's extremely beneficial going into the season, especially with the cardio. The one thing that I think our teams are always in better shape than the other teams, and it's crucial, especially when it comes tournament time, when you're going up and down those hills, to have that conditioning in your background.
It's interesting you say that, because I see a lot of things coming out now about golfers starting to do more aerobic exercises and cardio. And as you know, a long time ago, golfers didn't work out like they do now. You see a lot of the pros influencing the youth to work out, and it's really important because all of that walking really takes a toll. People don't realize it.
Absolutely, and people are dumbfounded sometimes by the fact that golfers get injured. It's a wild sport when it comes to the swing and the torque and everything that you put on your body. So yes, it's very important to build yourself up. I think Tiger Woods was the one that started that, and you see guys like Rory McIlroy now, and how big he got, and DeChambeau, the same thing. These guys are big.
Yep.
Dustin Johnson, the same thing.
You think about Tiger and even Brooks Koepka like that. Even with all the exercises, these guys are massive. They look great, and they still get injured.
Absolutely.
It's very tough.
Yeah, you don't see the John Daly's and those kind of guys anymore coming in, though there are a few.
Yes, health and fitness is becoming a very big part of the game.
Absolutely. And I'm a big believer that the working out is going to help you mentally as well as physically, all right? Because you're going to feel more confident in yourself when you're working out, all right? And then when you get to the golf course, hopefully that parlays into your game.
Yeah. And in terms of that, last thing, during the winter you said that the team works out do you influence the players to work out during the regular season, or do they have to be precautious of injuries?
I think that you and almost everyone on the team is starting to understand that in golf, I'm asking you to be self-motivated. All right, this is college now, so I'm not going to chase people down and say you need to do this, you need to do that. You have to take it upon yourself, be responsible, be accountable, and do the things that I ask you to do. And those guys that don't do it are the guys that aren't around at the end of the season.
Of course.
Right.
With that, what kind of qualifications do you have to be on the team in terms of scores, athletic ability, and really academics?
You know, again, because of the whole COVID situation that we've been going through, it's been tough because some kids are taking gap years that I recruited to come play. So at the 2-year level, it's almost like every year I have a new team. So, and you heard me say this before, that if I'm worried about this year, we're not going to be very good next year. All right, so I'm already in the process. We didn't even start our season this year. I'm already recruiting for next year. Otherwise, we might not have a program.
Right.
So grades do come into effect, especially with the COVID situation when everybody was going remote. I think it really hurt a lot of people that are learners where they're going in person and not doing it remotely. I think that hurt those kids. And I had, 6 kids on the team last year that were playing, and only 1 player came back this year. So
it's very unfortunate.
Right, it is.
Now we're going to take a break. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
I'm Andrea Lucia, a graduate of County College of Morris. At CCM, I gained a high-quality education, was involved with clubs on campus, and performed university research in tissue engineering. My CCM education prepared me for ongoing success. Today, I am at Cornell University, studying engineering and performing research in cardiac tissue engineering. The professors and staff at CCM helped me to start right and finish strong.
Welcome back to CCM All Access. I'm Nicholas Kratzel, and we're here with CCM's golf coach, Mr. James Chegwidden. So, Coach, I want to ask you, what are the team's goals and expectations this year?
Every year I'll tell the kids, conference championship, region championship, and our main goal is always to get back to the national tournament, which is held the first week of June up in Lake Chautauqua, New York. It's about 20 minutes from Lake Erie, and that's our goal every year.
What how are students supposed to student athletes on the team? How are they supposed to get ready for these bigger tournaments instead of worrying about the smaller ones? Is it a different ball game?
Well,
different thinking strategy.
Again, being the competitor that I am, I try to instill that into my players that right. I don't care where we're playing. Every shot counts. Every match counts. And the way my guys carry themselves on the golf course is extremely important to me. But from day one, when we head down to Valley Brook down in Camden County, okay, I'm expecting us to win the tournament. I want the team to set goals, but I also want the individuals to set goals too, because though it is a team sport, it's an individual sport as well. So hopefully all of the individuals on our team are going to set goals for themselves. And and I think the worst thing that you can do is go out there and expect to shoot a score. You go out and you play golf and you take one shot at a time.
Yep.
One shot at a time. So yeah, it starts from day one, and that'll lead up into our conference championships, which is going to be held at Flanders Valley Golf Course for the second straight year.
Local. Yep.
Okay, and then the region championship will be at Ashbrook, which is in Cranford, down in Union County. And the thing that I would say is we're going for our 4th straight conference and region championship. We won both last year again, but the college had let us know ahead of time that we were not going to be allowed to go to the national tournament because of the COVID protocols that the college had set in place. And we were fine with that because we were told ahead of time. But this year, I'm expecting that we're going to be back there again. And it's the trip of a lifetime. It's a whole week, and up in New York State. We play one practice round, official practice round, and then 4 rounds of play. And I think early in the season, this year, with our schedule, the way it's set up, we play our first 2 matches away, and then we play a match at Galloping Hill, and then we play the first time ever. We're playing in the Drew University. It's called the New Jersey Collegiate Classic. So we're going to be the only 2-year school playing amongst 6 4-year institutions. And that's going to be on April 9th and 10th at Flanders Valley. And then we have a home match actually on the 11th at Flanders Valley. That's going to be a good tune-up for us to go into tournament play, which will be starting in May.
All those tournaments are great, and that sounds great, especially as a 2-year school to be in. It's just such an opportunity to be in a
And like I
tournament
said,
with
this
all
is
those schools.
the first year.
Of course.
First year we're doing it, so
Yep.
I'm excited. Very
And I
excited.
just wanted to go back to the national tournament really quick,
Sure.
and just state, like, I know on whatever level in college, D1, D2, D3, some type of county level. I mean, as a golfer, or any athlete in any sport, to play in the national championship has to be one of the biggest opportunities to come across an individual.
Absolutely, and a huge shout out to Nick Axelson, who really brought our program to another level. Ricky Christensen and Mr. Kepler and all the guys that played back on those teams, where the last 2 times that we attended the Nationals, we finished 5th in the nation, all right, which is great. We were trying to get the second year to 4th. We were 6 strokes short of finishing in 4th. But again, I talked to you before about individual honors. Nick Axelson was 3rd team All-American his freshman year and 2nd team All-American his second year, which got him a full ride to SCAD University down in Savannah. And he's doing really well for himself. His first year down there, down in SCAD, he became their #1 player this year. Just like I said to you, bringing in new players every year. Now he's their #3 player, all right? So we've had some kids that have done really well and have moved on. Most of our guys move on to Division III schools, which would be FDU or William Patterson, schools like that. So our goal, again, is the success of the student athlete in the classroom and on the golf course. And of course, I just said that, student/athlete.
Right. You would attribute most of the golf team's success to those individuals in the most recent years of the program?
No, I can go back. I can go
Okay.
back to your mother's cousin,
Yeah.
Andrew.
Yep.
And I can go back to Chazzy Toulouse, who was an academic All-American here back in 2007. So many guys that took our program to where it is today. Now, what a lot of people don't know is Jack Nicklaus won 18 majors, but a lot of people don't know that he finished runner-up 19 times at majors.
Yep.
Same thing could be said for our program. The years that we didn't finish first, we were finishing second. Okay, maybe one year we finished third. So yes, I attribute a lot of our success to the guys that built it back when I first started back in 2007 with the program to where we are now.
Yes. With all of these wins, and of course, there's a lot of running up positions in our history. How do you believe the golf team will succeed this year, or try to succeed?
I think for the success of our team this year, you guys have to challenge each other. And I think everybody heard what I said at one of the practices, was that I do this like a pro event. So whoever scores the best the previous tournament becomes the #1 player. Okay, so you have to earn your spot. Every match, you have to earn your spot. Now, all the extra guys that we have 3 extra guys, they can challenge those last 4 and 5 spots. So there's going to be competition within, which is going to help us with the competition with outside.
Of course. So obviously, how the formatting works, it's not all about the first and second player all the time, right?
No, we're only as good as our 5th player.
Yes.
Okay, and I tell you guys that all the time. All right, I think our #1 or #2 guys will neutralize the #1 and 2 guys on the other teams that may have some good players, but it's the 4 and 5 guys that are the guys that are going to win our matches for us and take us to the next level.
Yes, of course. And with all of these players all their scores combining and working as a team and working together, what do you believe will be the biggest fork in the road, I guess, this season? Or what has it been?
I think the biggest fork in the road is going to be how we deal with the whole COVID protocol thing again. Traveling where last year I had to take temperatures, I had to, do all that. Now it's vaccinations and testing, so everything has been evolving with the COVID thing. So I think that's the biggest fork in the road. Last year, everybody had to drive to the events themselves. This year, we'll be traveling together, so we're getting back to normalcy.
Yeah. With the normalcy, do you believe other golf teams that we play against are probably going through the same things?
Oh, absolutely. I
Yeah.
think the whole state is going through the same thing.
Yeah.
The one thing that I'm a little sad about is that we used to have 17 teams in our region, and now I think we're going to have maybe 9 or 10 because all the Pennsylvania schools, except for one, dropped their golf programs. Delaware dropped their golf program. But it was nice to hear that Cumberland Community College is restarting their program. I was sad to hear that Burlington had dropped their program. They're not offering sports anymore at Burlington. So we are very fortunate here at the County College of Morris that we have the support of the administration. I have the support of our athletic department to put in place a solid team of solid individuals like yourself to move us forward.
Of course. I mean, players, coaches, everyone should be so grateful for what is going on, especially at this college, because you haven't really seen much of a removal of any of the sports teams. Of course, things have been put on hold, but fortunately nothing has, for the most part, been
And it's been very difficult because I used to be able to contact the high school coaches and go see kids play, and I was limited on what I could do. And so it's actually nice to get back out and like I went and watched you at the championships.
Yep. Flanders.
I met you on the green,
yep.
And I have a good read on people, and I knew that you were a solid individual. Now look, I've had some guys that, like I said to you, didn't make the season. Okay, sad, but you are going to meet those things, but very uncommon. All right, most of the kids that I have in our program are a lot like you, stand-up individuals.
Yeah, I think it's important to have good chemistry with the teammates and your coach, and it's just it's teamwork. You need it, to have a successful program. I'm sure you can attest to that.
And not only success with what we do on the course.
Yes.
I talked to you about the academics before. It was 3 or 4 years ago. We were NJCA all-academic team. Our team grade point average was over a 3.65. Okay, and that's what I'm hoping that we're going to get back to as well.
That's what Nick Axelson did, right? He was an All-American for that too, right?
Charles Toulouse was an academic All-American.
Sorry.
A Hackettstown graduate.
That's
where you're from.
Yep. I mean, Hackettstown, we've had a lot of great golfers come out of there. Some of them coming here, of course.
And a big shout out to your coach, Coach Mike.
Mike Andrewson.
Coach Mike has been absolutely wonderful, not only with his players, but telling me about other players as well.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Yep. And it's just such an opportunity to be on a team like this, and for anyone. I mean, anyone can join it as long as you hold up to the academic responsibilities that you've, of course, signed up for.
Absolutely.
And it's very important. For my last question here, do you have any suggestions for students trying to become a coach or be part of an athletic program?
When I was growing up, I wanted to be a chef.
Really?
And absolutely, I went to my first semester in college was at Johnson & Wales, and I just changed my whole career because of Jack Morton, the guy I was talking to you about before, who I played basketball here for. Called me up one day, and he knew that I was coaching youth basketball at the time because I loved basketball, and now I'm addicted to golf. And he asked me if I wanted to coach, and he got me into coaching. And I have been very fortunate in the positions that I've had here at the college to be able to coach a lot of outstanding people like you, and hopefully, you guys will get the bug that I got and want to help others along the way.
Yep. Well, Coach, thank you for being on here today.
I really appreciate you having me, Nick.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
This concludes another edition of CCM All Access. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.